Welcome to the Queen Anne's County Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, May the 4th, 2022. Can we stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have approval of the agenda?
Smith, I make a motion to amend the agenda to include 9.09, action item, Queen Anne's County Healthcare Reserve Fund request.
Second.
Motion is second for the approval agenda with amendments. Do I have everybody in favor say aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Mr. Smith, I make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Everybody have a chance to look at the board of Queen Anne's County closed sessions for April 27th?
Yes.
Mr. Smith, I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 27th and for the closed session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. You've also had a chance to approval of the minutes for Board of Education work session, April 27th. Open.
Yes.
Mr. Smith, I make a motion to accept the minutes for the April 27th, 2022 open session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, moving on to recognitions.
Let's go.
What is that?
Our first recognition this evening is the Energizer Bunny Award. This award is given to a staff member or volunteer who keeps on going. It is sponsored by Bayview Financial with Mr. Chip Brittingham and Mr. Wayne Humphreys. Thank you for being here this evening. And I'd like to also invite up Ms. Jolene Smith, who is our nominating person today. She's nominated. So Mrs. Smith nominated Miss Courtney. It's just Turner, okay. Miss Turner. So if we could have Courtney Turner please come up.
Can we send her in, please? Sorry.
She's here. I knew she was.
Send someone out.
This Energizer Bunny Award goes to Courtney. Miss Turner continues to impress her colleagues as her efforts to support parents, teachers, and students is unwavering. Miss Turner is responsible for providing instructional support, coaching, diagnostic support, organizing extended school year, coordinating preschool transitions, and supporting parents through the IEP process. Miss Turner attacks each day with energy and positivity. You rarely hear her say no to a request, even when it means attending meetings through lunch or extending her day. Ms. Turner is a source of rejuvenation for the rest of us, and her can-do attitude is very contagious. So congratulations.
Take this out. Maybe you can hold this.
And can you guys slide in just a little bit, please? Thank you very much. Okay, everyone look here and smile. Thank you very much.
Way to
Congrats.
step up, Brittany.
The second award is our Shining Star Award. This award recognizes someone in our school system who shines. This award is nominated by Miss Amy Smith. If she'll please come forward. And Ms. Smith has nominated Mrs. Amy Baldwin, if she will please come forward. And her principal is here as well, if you'll come forward. Ms. Baldwin always has her sights on bringing the best out of her students. She has worked to use her resources at the school to provide every opportunity for success for all students in mathematics and at the school. She is active in the students' lives, from in-class support to out-of-school activities and supports during school plays when they do occur. She always asks questions to strengthen the mathematics team and their focus to expand how we offer the best experiences for our students. She sees the best in her students and the teachers she coaches. She is a valuable asset to the county and to Sudlersville Middle School. Congratulations.
It's Bennett, I can't see you. Could you slide in just a little? Thank you so much. All right, everyone look this way. Thank you very much.
Our next award is the Queen Anne's County Public Schools Spirit Award. This award is given to an individual who embodies the spirit of Queen Anne's County Public Schools. This award is nominated again by Jolene. Thank you for coming up. And this award goes to Miss Christina Gilberto, Queen Anne's County High School. Congratulations. So Mrs. Gilberto has embodied the spirit of Queen Anne's County this school year by being a team player that places the success of her colleagues and students above all else. As the IEP chairman, she wears many hats to ensure professional compliance, success, and the well-being of her department. During a year filled with novel challenges that required flexibility and creativity, Ms. Gilberto has worked tirelessly to meet everyone's needs. She is not only responsible for the oversight of the department, but also tasked with managing and growing caseload of her own. She works collaboratively with her co-teachers to deliver quality, specialized design lessons and tailored instruction to the various needs of her classes. Ms. Gilberto has never said no when asked to tackle a new challenge or take on another student as part of her caseload. She has managed the needs of herself, the department staff, and her students with a smile. Queen Anne's County Public Schools is lucky to have spirited teachers like her as part of our special team of professionals. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'd also like to invite up Miss Benton and the Seduxo staff.
That's for sure.
So we have kind of two awards going on at the same time, but some special recognition. So accepting this award, which is the Centerville Acme Nourishing Neighbors Program Award, is Ms. Benton. So thank you for being here. Queen Anne's County Public Schools would like to thank you, the Centerville Acme Market, for sponsoring the Acme Nourishing Neighbors Program, which raised $3,500. The Nourishing Neighbors Program helps to eliminate childhood hunger by helping to stock food banks and support meal distribution programs. With the kind donation by the Centerville Acme Market, we were able to continue to support the purchasing of food to be distributed in the Queen Anne County's backpack program at Centerville Elementary School, Kennard Elementary School, Centerville Middle School, and Queen Anne's County High School, as well as the Arise program. The donations helps to make sure that our students who are less fortunate have access to food during the weekends and times when schools are closed. Again, we thank you so much for your partnership, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with you. Thank you. Gonna keep going. Oh, yep. Sorry. Because there's a second part to this.
Sorry.
So we also have the No Kid Hungry Maryland, and accepting this award is Mr. George Higley from Seduxo. Queen Anne's County Public Schools would like to honor you with an award from the No Kid Hungry Maryland program for the work performed through the pandemic as they constantly rose to the challenging task of ensuring meals were getting to students despite supply chain issues, staffing shortages, and last-minute school closures. Without your efforts, many students and families would have had a hard time accessing the food they so desperately needed during that time. Since schools first closed in March of 2020 through September of 2021, Queen Anne's County Public Schools, and with your partnership, served approximately 584,698 meals through the Summer Food Service Program, which operated during the school year as well as the summer. Queen Anne's County Public Schools, in partnership with you, also provide 80,483 after-school meals. On behalf of the No Kid Hungry Maryland program, we would like to present you with this plaque honoring your tireless commitment to the students and families of Queen Anne's County Public Schools.
And Julie, on behalf of the district, thank you so much. And I'd like to ask Mr. Pender to come up.
Just a little bit more. Thank you. Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm like, I want that chair.
Thank you very much.
We're going to have to make sure we do Okay.
Okay, our next thing, we'll go to board involvement. Okay, you might start off this
Sure,
time.
I'll start it. I was really excited to go to Kent Island for the art scene. It was tremendous. Got to catch up with a lot of the, neighborhood community and just with the, the kids and the teachers, and it was just really incredible, the talent that we have. In fact, I offered one of the artists to buy some of her work, and I'm hoping she's still considering that. So if she sees this, please still consider my offer. The second thing was I attended the Kent Island High School and the Stevensville Middle School softball game, and kudos to Kent Island because they won, but big props to Stevensville Middle School. They did an amazing rendition on the first base of Fancy Like. They did an incredible, so they got 5 runs get awarded to them for this great dance of Fancy Like. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I attended a triathlon, or it's not a triathlon, a run down to Kent Narrows. My granddaughters and girls with the run after school program, and that was a fun thing to watch. Did that with a good community thing. Also, met with the commissioners this month with Dr. Salins and staff to do our monthly exchange of information, so we're both on the same page and we can exchange ideas of what the school has going on and what the county does. And also, matter of fact, I see some faces out here that I saw Saturday at the Goodwill Fire Company Cash Bash, which is a volunteer thing. I like to see our community support that, and it was very nice.
I would like to mention that this is Teacher Appreciation Week. I would like to express my sincere appreciation, thankfulness to all teachers and paras, staff, past, present, and future, for all they do for our students every day.
My dance card was empty in April, but it's pretty full in May, so I'll get back to you.
Okay. Dr. Sellers?
Yeah, so I have finished the student groups for this year. So our last meetings were really well-received, highly engaged students, and a lot of fun, actually. We just had a really good time. And I've already started my last school visits with principals. And so we've had several of those already. They're going very well. It's great to get in the classrooms. And all the other activities in the evening are certainly fun, but I will have to piggyback on what Ms. Benton said. I was able to go to both of the art scenes, and in talking with the art teachers, I think there was roughly over 1,300 art pieces between the two schools, which to me is, I mean, just, it's amazing. And they were both just, like you said, they were packed. It was just such a great community, parent, student event. And so kudos to Mr. Bell and his team for bringing that together, really, honestly.
Mr. Dakiga.
Good evening, everyone. So I have the April Spotlight for you. We will start by showcasing the elementary schools. Bayside submitted a kindness event that they held. It was very cool. So they collected cereal boxes, but the students did not know that there was going to be like a grand finale with the cereal boxes. They collected over 900 cereal boxes, and volunteers then set them up in the gym and set them up like dominoes, as you can see. And they covered half of the gym, so the kids were extremely excited. It was a great event, and they came together in an assembly and watched the cereal boxes go down, and then they donated them. So Centerville Elementary School had Earth Day. See lots of pictures of our students participating in Earth Day, planting flowers, recycling. Churchill Elementary, they also had a very cool activity that they showcased for this month, and they have what's called Cub Delivery, and students can write letters and notes to staff members or students in the building. So it engages the students while also enhancing their writing skills. So great activity. As you can see, they have their little mailbox there. Graysonville Elementary, third grade classes learned about terrapins. They raised 2. They will be released this month at Poplar Island. And they also had some guest speakers that came in and spoke about the project. So we see lots of students. I see Susan Willis. I think she's here tonight. Yep, I see her in a picture as well. Kennard Elementary, those students, you have 4th graders who participated in a field trip at Millstream Park, and it was hosted by the Saltiana Education Foundation. And they canoed on the waters, and they also did water quality tests. You also have 4th graders who researched countries and presented the information about different cultures. And then we had students that participated in some SSR, so sustained silent reading, and they tracked their minutes for a school competition. Ken Island Elementary, we have 2nd grader Lila Ward, who won the first place for the Month of the Young Child poster contest, and she was recognized at the commissioner's office. We have kindergartners that observed and learned about the butterfly, the life cycle of the butterfly, fond memories. And then pre-K and K registration took place at Ken Island. Mattapique Elementary, during the month of April, they focused on celebrating their unified arts teachers, their specials teachers. So you can see different pictures showcased here for each of those teachers. Sudlersville Elementary had their first assembly that was hosted by the PTA, and the students loved Joe
Romano's Ultimate School Show, The Magic of Books. So it looks like they enjoyed that. And then our middle schools. Centerville Middle School, very relevant to our students. They did a rap assembly, which is rapping about prevention, so no smoking or vaping. Looks very engaging. Mattapique Middle, they have two pictures here showcasing Ag Day, which was held at the 4-H Park. And then we have sixth grader Sophia Tate, who is the winner of the opioid poster contest. Stevensville Middle, pictures showing eighth graders who participated in an outdoor math activity where students search for hidden problems. And they did this in the courtyard. Sothersville Middle did a trip to Chesapeake College where they learned about the programs that are available, and they also participated in hands-on activities. The programs that they participated in were culinary, the youth apprenticeship, surgical tech, science, biology, skilled trades, nursing, and then health professions. Our high schools, Ken Island had another, so this is not their first, so this is an additional one where they had a family paint night. Queen Anne's County High School, this is a picture of the officers of the National Honor Society, and they inducted 60 new members to their chapter. And I think it was last Wednesday. Yes, last Wednesday was Administrative Professionals Day. And this is just 3 pictures from 3 of our schools showcasing some of our hardest working individuals. We couldn't do it without them, for sure. And then this is Queen Anne's County High School and Ken Island High School. It was a luncheon sponsored by Dr. Salins, and it was held at Prospect Bay Country Club to honor our senior NHS members. So, and that is the spotlight for the month of April.
Thank you.
All right, then you're welcome.
Next are our student board members. I'd like to take a minute to thank you guys for attending our meetings over the last year. I know graduation at Queen Anne's will be June the 1st, the 2nd for Ken Island, and our next meeting is June the 1st. So I'm assuming you guys might have other things to do.
Ours is in the morning, so.
Yeah.
We're more than happy to have you
You're
here.
right.
But if you
Unless
have
you're
something,
celebrating with your
but
family.
if something goes on, we understand it.
Okay.
Whatever. But I want to really thank you guys for being here, telling us what's going on in the school system. It's informative, and I think it's a very active part, and I wish you well in your endeavors in the future.
Thank you.
And Jack, you start off with your...
Yeah, hi everyone. So it's a really exciting time at Ken Island as we get closer to our school year, like you just mentioned. We recently had our choir and band concerts with a special tribute song to Jacob Sloan performed by our band. As mentioned, we had our art scene event that included over 1,000 pieces of art by Queen Anne's County students. I know that myself and the class of 2022 are really excited for our prom, which will be held on May 21st at the high school. Yesterday we had our college and career signing day where there was a senior photo booth and we wrote down our future plans. Also, our spring sports are well underway with our playoffs beginning this month. On Monday we had our National Honor Society induction, and there are many other honor societies hosting inductions this month. And finally, our senior awards night is going to be hosted on May 18th, where scholarships and academic awards will be celebrated.
Mr. Jackson, where are you headed?
I'm going to Duke University.
Congratulations.
Good evening. Queen Anne's County High School will be having a busy May. Starting tomorrow, May 5th at 7:30 p.m., the music department will be having their spring concert, which will be the combination of both band and choir. There will be a jazz concert in the cafeteria on May 10th at 7 p.m., and the spring dance concert will be the following day on May 11th at 7 p.m. We'll be holding our nursing pinning ceremony on May 12th at 5 p.m., and interim reports will be sent out to parents on May 13th. On May 18th at 5 p.m., there will be an engineering capstone presentation in the cafeteria, and on May 20th, there will be one-act plays and international thespian inductions. Senior night awards senior award nights will be on May 24th at 6 p.m. And lastly, senior final exams will be on May 25th and May 26th. And Queen Anne's County, the athletics have been doing really well. Everybody's been doing good. And we have a track meet tomorrow at Cambridge South Dorchester, so hope we do good.
Best of luck to you.
And Mr. Brett, where are you headed?
I'm going to go into construction with my father.
Like I said again, but thank you guys for everything, and we appreciate it. Okay, our next will be public comment.
We ask all speakers to keep in mind the following guidelines. Speakers should sign the roster, including their telephone number and address. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes in length. Comments longer than 3 minutes should be submitted in writing. Questions or statements to the board should relate to a matter of general policy over which the board has authority. Comments about actions or statements of individual staff members are not appropriate for public comment and should be referred to the superintendent of schools or the board president. If you have specific questions, the board will make sure an appropriate staff member responds to your question. The board respects your desire and right to convey your message freely, but please ask as a courtesy to this board and our citizens to show respect for all. First name is Miss Karen Fields.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Karen Fields. I'm an English Language Arts teacher at Centerville Middle School, and I'm president of the Queen Anne's County Education Association. I would like to thank everyone behind me and everyone out in the hall, because we all couldn't fit, for stepping up and being here for our schools, our staff, and most of all for our students. So we are here tonight to urge the board to demonstrate that it values employees beyond words and public expressions of appreciation. We ask that you please demonstrate to the families in Queen Anne's County that you share our conviction that they deserve schools staffed with educators and support personnel who are provided the time, pay, resources, and professional autonomy to meet the needs and best serve our students and their children. Educating and supporting students are why we chose careers in public education. We want Queen Anne's County Public School to remain a place where teachers and staff wish to work and stay. As we move towards the end of another unsettling school year, all of us are extremely concerned that morale will continue to plummet without the respect that our work deserves. With the cost of living rising exponentially, we literally cannot afford to have less real dollars in our paychecks. We value the integrity of our pay scale. It is what brought us to this county. It is what gives us the stability to plan and provide for ourselves and our families. Other counties on the Eastern Shore are stepping up for their employees, schools, and students. We urge this board to demonstrate this same commitment. Thank you for listening.
Dawn Sweeney.
I'm Dawn Sweeney. I live in Chester, Maryland. Do you need anything else?
That's fine.
Okay. So I just wanted to come up and represent not only myself, but my children, my colleagues, and all the staff that works in Queen Anne's County Schools. I'm a para at Kennard Elementary School. I plan and implement computer technology lessons for over 500 students each week. I have a class size as high as 34 students and as small as 23. After my raise this past year, I make $23,900 a year. I have a 4-year bachelor's degree. I come to school every day with a smile on my face and a positive attitude because I believe if you are going to do something, you should put 110% into it and be your best. I've got to tell you, I don't think Queen Anne's County is doing their best. I don't think you are supporting all your staff. I think you are making excuses for things you don't believe in, which clearly seems to be the school staff in this county. Over the last 3 years, we have seen a pandemic that has changed the world, not just Queen Anne's County. We have seen tragedy, we have seen despair by so many, and we have seen communities divided by politics. We have all been working overtime, been overloaded, been stressed by a million changes, and asked to do more in the past 24 months than we've ever done in the history of teaching. What is the reward for all that we have endured as a staff? Empty promises, disrespect in negotiations, and the inability to hear what your employees' needs are. For the life of me, I don't understand why this county continues to work backwards in their thinking. While everything is changing, you all continue to try to live in the past. In case you haven't heard, there's a shortage, and it's not just with teachers. There's a shortage with custodians, and there's also a shortage in the general population of just getting people to work. But for some reason, I don't understand why you all think that it's okay to start taking things in negotiations instead of looking at what has gone on and what is needed for this county and do something about it. While the whole country and all the states around us are trying to do something they can do to retain their staff and attract new employees, you all continue to keep driving away all of our staff. You're asking for less pay. You're asking us to pay more in benefits. It's not enough to ask. It's not enough. You have to ask so much more through all these hard times than you have ever given. And I don't mean money. I'm not asking about money. I'm talking about respect. I'm talking about appreciation and the will to stand behind the staff and support them. I appreciate your time. I hope tonight you will listen to the people and who make up the large part of the community and give them the respect they deserve. Thank you.
Sydney
We
Pedraza.
got a long meeting night. I want everybody to speak that can. Good evening. Your name and address of the record.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Salins, board members. My name is Sydney Pedraza. I live at 8066 Easton Village Drive. I've been teaching elementary art, kindergarten through 6th grade, for 26 years, 24 of those between Bayside and Mattapique elementary schools. I hold a master's degree from the Maryland Institute College of Art, where I wrote my thesis on narrative drawing strategies to scaffold drawing and cognitive development in children with developmental delays. In my art class, we don't just make pretty pictures. We learn about history and world cultures when we learn about artists and time periods from around the world and throughout history. We learn about math when we use symmetry, convex and concave lines, and how to measure and draw with rulers. And we learn about science when understanding how cohesion works, especially important when using watercolors. We learn to be creative problem solvers, and we learn how to effectively collaborate with others. And we read and we write about our work and others. And my teaching doesn't stop in the art room. I teach my 4th graders during my time on lunch duty how to use American Sign Language to let them know our plans for recess. When it's too cold, raining, or just too wet to go outside. Or if the sun is shining and they can play on the blacktop in the grass. Because I teach not just art, but I teach children. I've taught thousands of children on Kent Island in my 24 years. I've taught 4 of your children in Jackson. With that said, I have a few questions for you. When looking for your money to be invested or managed, do you go to the wealth manager who is underpaid and overworked? When going to the doctor or dentist, do you seek out the cheapest option or a doctor that isn't valued? When you need your brakes for your car to be checked or replaced, do you go to the mechanic that is working so much overtime and tired because he's doing the work of 4 since others have moved on where they can earn more? Please consider the value consider the value you and our students get when honoring a professional, respectable contract for myself and my colleagues. I appreciate your careful consideration of a contract that shows that you value our students, our county, our teachers, and our future. Thank you.
Faith East.
Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I am here as a union member. I am here as a
Your name and
teacher.
address for record.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
all right. We'll get it.
My name's Faith East. I live at 116 Gad Drive. I'm a teacher at Kent Island Elementary School.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here as a union member, a teacher, a concerned community member, and most importantly, as a parent of children in this county. I'm here to support our union. I'm stepping up for our negotiations. That's all I'm going to say about our negotiations. What I am going to ask you, though, is according to our current contract, which is on our website, so it's public knowledge, page 22 says that our union, it says the board and the association will form a committee to study ways of increasing planning time equity for all teachers. I want to know if that's been done. Have you formed that committee? Who was on the committee? Was elementary and early childhood represented? Okay, that's my question to you. Any answers?
We can't answer right now, but like we said in an early thing, we will get somebody back to you.
I would appreciate that. Because you can't answer me, I'm going to go on with the
It's
rest
not
of
that we
this.
can't answer you. I just want to understand, this is not dialogue about the word. We'll listen to everything you have to say, and we'll get back to you with appropriate answers with appropriate people. But we cannot talk in great detail about negotiations because we're still in negotiations. Thank you.
This is old negotiation. This is, but anyway, we'll go on. Okay? I want you to understand that as an elementary teacher, we get 60 minutes of planning a day. Middle school and high school gets 90 minutes. Out of that 60 minutes, we need to fill water bottles, go to the bathroom, check our physical mailboxes, check our emails, make notes, sometimes supply responses to emails, plan for whole group reading, foundations for small reading groups, math whole group, math small group, what other students will be doing when we're teaching these small groups, science or social studies because we alternate days. We also need to find, pool, and organize any needed supplies, grade student work, and input student assessments. If you count the 10 lessons that I just stated with standard objectives, procedures, and assessments, okay, it is 3 minutes. To do everything I just stated, if you divide it by 60 minutes, we have 3 minutes to do each thing. That is not enough time. Okay? We have maybe enough time to write our standard and maybe enough time to write the extensive objectives that are being asked of us. As an elementary educator teaching kindergarten, my students can't read those. My students don't understand them. I have to write them for administration. They're in my plan book. They're on my computer in my plan book. It's a redundance. It's a redundance that takes away from our time. As a community member, and sorry, I forgot my hats. I'm a kindergarten teacher. So we make all kinds of little kitschy things to catch kids' attention. Now I'm here as a community member, not as a teacher. As a community member, I want you to make sure that you,
Just wrap it up real quick.
okay, community member, you need to be aware of the discrepancies in this county. You have kindergarten schools where you have 12 students in a kindergarten class. You have kindergarten classrooms with 25 students. That's a difference of 12 minutes per student individual with teachers versus 25. That's not even half.
Okay.
It's not fair, it's not equitable, and something needs to be done.
Thank you.
My dear. Heather Efland.
Hi. My name is Heather Efland. I live at 132 East Meadow Drive. Can I begin? Yes. Cool. I am the parent of a Queen Anne's County Public School student. I am a resident and I am a taxpayer. I have been a teacher in Queen Anne's County for 15 years, and I am also honored to say that I am the 2019-2020 Queen Anne's County Teacher of the Year. Teacher of the Year, I had the privilege of attending various events with a cohort of teachers representing each county. And what I concluded from that experience was, one, Maryland is very diverse from county to county. And number two, true story, I told my principal this in February 2020 after coming back from an event, Queen Anne's County was the best public school system. That was my conclusion then. Today, I honestly, it's with a heavy heart that I have to admit that I don't feel that way, and it breaks my heart. But what led me to the conclusion that Queen Anne's County is the best? Well, number one, the majority of our educational employees live in this county. Number two, the majority of our educational employees have students that go to school in this county. No, they don't go to private schools. They go to school in this county. A large percentage of us are Queen Anne's County graduates, or we married a Queen Anne's County graduate. In fact, my son is a third-generation Queen Anne's County, or Eflin, to go through Queen Anne's County Public Schools. How could I not want anything but the best for this county? A raise, a step, and a COLA for Queen Anne's County educational workforce is a raise and a COLA and a step up for thousands of Queen Anne's County residents, because we all live in Queen Anne's County. It's a step up for our families because we are Queen Anne's County. A step up for Queen Anne's County educators is a step up for the whole community. I would like to raise a safety concern that I have as a parent, a teacher, and a student advocate. We are extremely short-staffed right now in Queen Anne's County Public Schools. We don't have subs. Teachers are being asked to cover classes and sacrifice their plan time, resulting in a whole new level of teacher exhaustion. My main concern is safety. Last month, we had an incident at my school where a teacher was so injured they had to have a full hip replacement. They had to relearn how to walk. They're out for the rest of the year. I fully blame her injury on the fact that we are short-staffed. We are spread thin, and we are unable to monitor students when we don't have a full staff and when we don't have subs. Everyone's safety is compromised right now in the current Queen Anne's County school system. I would like to make a suggestion that systematically we do everything we can to ensure our schools are fully staffed to prevent a student from having an injury. I would like an example, if you would like an example of what stepping up looks like to staff our schools, I would recommend going to the Talbot County Public School homepage, because right there on the top of it, it's like bonuses if you want to sub for us. In conclusion, I would like to ask the people that hold the power in Queen Anne's County Public Schools, what is your legacy here? You have walked into Queen Anne's County schools, and our schools were at a certain caliber. Do you think that the choices that you are making right now are going to leave our system stronger or weaker? And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Lang. State your name and address.
Good evening.
For the record, please.
My name is Katie Lang. I live at 201 Tillman Neck Road in Centerville. My family has lived in Queen Anne's County for generations, going back to the 1700s. My great-grandfather only had an 8th grade education that he received in a one-room schoolhouse around the corner from where I live. My grandmother was a very proud graduate of Centerville High School, where we sit tonight. Both of my parents are Queen Anne's County High School graduates, and my mother was the first in her family to get a college degree. My mother and I have both earned our master's degrees in educational fields, and I like to think that my own children might be the first in our family to get their doctorate degrees. I have one that thinks he wants to be a professor of paleontology. As the opportunities in education improved here in Queen Anne's County, the future for each generation of my family also improved. The Queen Anne's County trucks that drive past the classroom windows say, "Where our future begins." For my family, that is true, but my question is, will it continue? My grandfather was appointed to this same board in the 90s. When I started working for the county, he often reflected on his time as a member of this board. One of his 2 greatest accomplishments that he often talked about and reflected upon included increasing the salaries in Queen Anne's to make it competitive so that we could attract and maintain highly qualified teachers. I am afraid that we will lose strong teachers that know the curriculum, have the pedagogy to instruct, and have classroom experience that allows them to manage behaviors effectively in order to teach our current and future students. I am concerned that my own sons will not have the teachers they need to lead them to their future if we cannot keep our teachers due to the contract. Please step up for our children. Thank you.
Breeslin Sweeney. State your name just for the record, not your address, please.
Hello, I'm Breeslin Sweeney. I am in 8th grade at Stevensville Middle School. Both of my moms are teachers. My school and theirs are understaffed. Sometimes the UA teachers are the ones subbing for my other classes. One of my teachers has to relearn how to walk because she had to get a new hip. This happened because of a fight at our school. I feel if we had more staff, this would have never happened. There are times where I don't want to go to school because I don't feel safe. Yes, I am saying I don't feel safe at my own school. Some teachers stay up all night to do things for school and they don't get paid for it. A lot of teachers buy stuff with their own money. Teachers are like parents in a different place to me. And a lot of other students would think so too. We love them. It hurts me because some people treat them so bad. Teachers deserve so much more. Not only are they teachers, they are counselors, problem solvers, motivators, and so much more. They teach us social skills, manners, independence, and again, so much more. Did you know that custodians stop getting pay raises after their 8th year? We might be losing staff because of the pay rates. I want to say thank you to all of the school workers here. Thank you for being positive during hard times. I am not proud. Step up QACPS.
Joya George.
Good evening. My name is Julia George. I live at 5459 Wellington Drive in Trapp, Maryland. But I, too, come from the George line that has been through Queen Anne's County forever and ever. Both my children have been here. All of my husband's cousins, which there are many, have been here. His mother also worked for Queen Anne's County. My name is Julia George. I live at 545. Last month, I was here speaking to you about school nurses. This month, I have another companion cadre of nurses with me. We have 5 other nurses with me. 5 out of 18 is a large component. We care about this issue. We hope you do too. Last month, I had the time to speak about the incredible, unrelenting pressure that we had to step up and take on the jobs for COVID for this year. We added additional jobs last year of being the COVID communicable disease school nurse, the contact tracers and trackers for the school system, the COVID testers, and this was all in addition to our natural full-time job of being school nurses, which is, believe me, a full-time job. We were dedicated, we stepped up, and we came all year. We school nurses are the health counterparts to your teachers, to your guidance counselors, who we work hand in hand with on mental health issues often, and to other healthcare workers in the system, such as your speech language pathologists. All of these professionals belong and work under the certificated Unit 1. We believe we too belong in that unit. We all have diplomas, teachers and nurses. This is my diploma. BSN, School of Nursing, University of Maryland. Many of our nurses have advanced degrees. Many have masters. You don't realize how many nurses you have that have exceptional education. For the number that we have, 18, we have 4 nurses with master's degrees. We also have other nurses, such as myself, who have gone on to become nationally certified, just like teachers do, in their fields of expertise. This is the letter that tells you I'm a nationally certified school nurse. I have been one since 2009. I have renewed this. We have licenses, not certificates. They are issued by the Maryland Board of Nurses, and we must comply with all of their regulations and to the Nurse Practice Act, which is encoded in COMAR. We must maintain professional standards. We are professionals. Just this year, we have begun to work together to move nurses. We would very much like to see that that promise is kept and that nurses will be included with the certificated Unit 1.
John Kenty. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Trust that all of you are well tonight.
State your name and your address, sir, for the record.
Gladly. John Kenty, 104 Margaret Drive, Stevensville, Maryland, 21666. I would hope you haven't started timing me yet.
We are right now, sir.
Tell us when you start.
On the clock, here we go. I want each and every one of you to understand that what I have to present tonight is a matter of public record and therefore appropriate for presentation before this board. With that said, I am the parent, in fact, my wife and I are the parents of a teacher in Queen Anne's County who leaves work most days to go to a second job to make ends meet. I know what that feels like. I was a professional educator for almost 32 years. I have been where these teachers are. They are dedicated to the job of teaching, not for the guts, not for the glory, not for the pay, but because they are driven to teach. I hope you hear me loud and clear. There comes a point at which even being driven to teach, if they do not have the means to survive economically, they will be driven from the county. That young man sitting right there, he has had an outstanding education in this county. Our 4 children are the beneficiaries of the teachers and their dedication, and the coaches and their dedication in Queen Anne's County. I believe, they believe, you should also, and I do believe you do, believe in the future of education in Queen Anne's County. If I want advice, if I have a pet and I want advice, I go to a pet store and I trust that owner to give me good advice. If I need legal advice, I go to a member of the bar and I trust I'm going to get good advice. Those individuals in the collective bargaining unit are teachers. You need to trust that what they are saying, what you have heard, is one voice out here tonight. Hear it loud and clear. Please do not betray the trust that the teachers, parents, and students of this county have placed in you as either elected members or as superintendent hired by this county to represent its teachers, its students, and the parents whom all of you represent. Quite frankly, the future of education in Queen Anne's County is at stake. Where that future stands, quite frankly, is in your hands.
There was no one else on the roster. Anyone else would like to speak? Okay, this concludes our...
We'll conclude this open forum. Thank you all for speaking.
Thank you.
Okay, our next will be informational items. I'm going to take a 5-minute break while everybody clears.
5-minute recess, Jeff.
Where's Jean? She's up next.
It's okay.
Good evening. We're back in session. Our next will be 701 expenditure status reports. Ms. Towers, be here in a second.
You're on, Jay. The superintendent says you're in trouble.
Sorry. That's
you.
okay.
You guys-
Tell us why you're late.
Good evening, President Smith, Dr. Sale, and board members. Tonight, we bring before you the expenditure status reports for month ending April 30th for your review.
We still have some money?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
I see later on we have a request to move some funds around, which I guess has to do with transportation.
Correct, in the health service category. What we're seeing is an increase in athletic trips, field trips, fuel costs that we have to account for this year.
So we have more athletic trips than we anticipated to start with.
Well, when we look back before COVID, it's been underfunded for several years prior. So that's going to be heavily on our radar for next year. But this is to actually to account for some increased field trips because of COVID. They didn't have those trips. So we are seeing an increase in that too as well.
You're talking about looking into it for not this next year, the budget we just worked on, but the year prior, because we pretty much, is that?
Well, we'll keep it on our radar and look and possibly bring an amendment going forward for the school year because of the fuel cost is number one on my concern because we're not sure where we're going to fall in the fall.
Mr. Pender, where do we, I mean, diesel fuel's north of $5 now.
Yes.
What is our base for fuel? Three something?
It's $1.58, something like that. I'll have to go back and look. Hang on.
No, but we're talking under $2.
Yes. So every time it goes up a certain amount of cents, it increases 1 cent.
Right.
So it's not like every penny is matched for a penny. I believe it's five to 1, 5 cents to 1.
But every time it goes up $1, we're paying 20 cents more.
Yes.
So it could be up 40, 50 cents a month.
And the additional cost that Ms. Towers was talking about for athletic trips, we try to do those in-house with our own drivers. We have an aging pool of drivers. Then we're kind of, just trying to keep it going and keeping the buses rolling, which we are. But at certain times we have to get some contractors to take the bus trips for us. So I will say this, and transportation has kept on going throughout the whole year. We have not been like other counties and stopped. I mean, they've been able to keep on going, but there is a cost associated, with that. And it has traditionally been underfunded, but you're seeing some fuel prices now that we've never seen before. I mean, it is.
I mean, tractor trailer, all drivers are in short demand, it seems like, not just school bus drivers, and it's a big responsibility, and I know it's a problem, but it looks like overall, when I look at the bottom line, we're still in our budget.
Yes, correct.
Any other questions by the board?
No, I was just going to make a comment, though. We do need to make sure that we pay attention to it. Our athletic teams, I listen to the radio every morning, and they are amazing, and they are being featured every single day for their athleticism, and they're moving up in the ranks. We had the Bay Area team winners this last season, Bayside winners, and I anticipate that's going to keep going with the group of kids that we have, so we really need to pay attention.
Well, let's just put this out there. We have had numerous years of Bayside champions.
Yes, we have.
And so
And we'll keep it going.
Let's keep it going.
That's right.
But I know when you're 16 years old and you get your license, you want to drive to school. But I would be cautious that at the high school, we're going to see as fuel prices go up, we might have more students
Riding the
transport.
bus.
And if you have to add a bus, I mean, that's something that I think in the future is going to be an issue.
You keep thinking that.
What?
You keep thinking that.
Well, it's not going to go down. I mean, there's a lot of things in this thing
Do you think you would ever?
No. Those kids are going to,
bus.
those students are going to find a way to drive their car.
Mr. Smith, so when it goes over $3 every 5 cents, it increases 1 cent.
Correct.
So over $3, 5 cents.
We're over $5 now.
Yep.
Yes.
And I don't see any relief in the next 6 months to a year. I mean,
Not with what the forecasts show, no.
Okay, I mean, it's something we got to do. I mean, you can't stop, it's not something. Okay, any other questions on that?
No.
Okay, Ms. Towers, you're up on 702, ESNR.
Okay, so the next item we bring before you is the summary of expenditures for COVID funds, and that's ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 for your review. Questions?
I mean, the one thing I'm very unfortunate about COVID, but these ESNR funds certainly have helped put a lot of programs and do a lot of things that we would be able to do on our own.
Right.
And I think
Entire summer, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have summer school coming up this summer again, and it's good to have this available to us.
And with the building supports, such as the permanent substitutes are in ESSER 3, your social workers have been in ESSER 3. For next year, we're looking at 5 EL teacher positions, as well as 2 interpreter positions district-wide. So trying to meet the needs with these funds.
I think we've done a good job on using these funds in appropriate places. Do you have any other questions by the board?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 705, our 180-day waiver, Dr. Salmons.
Yes, we have officially gotten out notice to our community about the last day of school, but I definitely wanted to get it in the record because we received it earlier last week, so we got a message out right away, but I needed to bring it to the board just to make you aware that officially we were granted the 1-day waiver, so now our students only have to be in session for 179 days. So the official last day of school would be June 14th.
For students.
For students. And that's what I did want to clarify, that this waiver is only for students. Staff members have a contract. That contract is 189 days. And so they will have to make up that day on the 15th. Certainly, I will work with the principals to structure that day, and so that is a contract obligation that I can't arbitrarily change, and I certainly can't knowingly or willingly break the contract. So it'll be 189 days, which would take the teachers to the 15th.
And you'll use your discretion as far as what we can do. The students won't be there that day.
Students will not be in attendance that
Other things
day.
can be accomplished, whatever time is needed.
Absolutely, and I will work closely with the principals to ensure that we have a productive day that's appropriate for staff.
Any other questions by the board?
Thank you.
Okay, now we're into action items. Dr. Knoll?
Mr. Smith? We are at 901 Human Resource and Substitute Bus Driver Report.
Yes.
I make a motion to accept the Human Resource and Substitute Bus Driver Report as presented in closed session.
Second.
Everybody's had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. And Dr. Sellers would like to introduce some of
Yes,
your...
I do. So thank you. So within that report, we do have 4 appointments this evening, administrative appointments, that I'm really excited to share. And the first one I would like to share and invite up is Mrs. Becky Tubman, who currently is our assistant principal at Sudlersville Middle School, and as of July 1, will be the new principal at Graysonville Elementary School. So we'd like to... We're very excited. Becky brings a lot of institutional knowledge with her in the district, and we're really excited to have you as a new principal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting. Thank you.
Very
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got it. So I just want to make sure I have it in front of me. That's all. So our... Yeah. No, I just... So our second appointment this evening, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Michelle McNeil, who is currently the supervisor of early childhood. Goodness, there's a whole long list. Pre-K, Title I, Title III, migrant. She's got a lot of different hats on. And so that's her current position, but I'd like to congratulate her as the new principal at Sudlersville Elementary School.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's my last year. I can tell you about it. COVID's over.
Our third appointment, although she is not able to be here tonight because she actually teaches evening classes, is Christine Bentley, who currently is our equity teacher specialist and will be the new supervisor of equitable access, opportunity, and out-of-school time programs. So we're really excited for her. This will incorporate not only her role of equity, but also with our PFY after-school programs, after-school tutoring. So we're really excited about that. So we congratulate Christine, even though she wasn't able to be here this evening.
Yeah.
And our last appointment that I would like to introduce right now is Dr. Marcia Sprankle. If she'll come up, please. Marcia recently has come to us as the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction Improvement and Professional Learning from MSDE, but formerly was from Talbot County Public Schools, where she served a variety of roles and was a long-standing administrator in Talbot County. And so we're so excited to have you as our new Assistant Superintendent for Instruction. Happy to have you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I know.
I'm sorry.
She said, I need higher shoes. You gotta wear flats and I gotta wear heels. I am really excited. I think all of these are just going to be great additions to the system and overall to the administrative team. And I know that we are very sorry to see Amy leave and have just been, it's been a great year with Amy. She's been amazing on the executive team, and thank you for that. But we are excited that we are able to find somebody that I think can fill those big shoes.
I will miss everyone, but I mean, I've just met Marcia tonight, and she is immediately, I could tell she was a wonderful person. So she is a great addition and will be an asset to Queen Anne's County. So welcome, Marcia.
And I'd like to thank you personally, because you've been here a long time. You know, even my daughter went to the school when you were there, and we all appreciate everything you've done, and we also know where you live, so you're not going too far.
Yeah, that didn't sound good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I'm just saying.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Only in a positive way.
Yeah, and Amy, you and I have been together a long time, and kudos for your retirement, and thank you so much for all you've done.
Thank you. And I know where you live.
Right around the corner.
Okay, thank you, everybody. 902 Curriculum Associates, Mrs. Smith.
Popular night, Miss Jolene.
Yes. I'm sorry, what was it?
You're popular
I know,
tonight.
I'm trying to get it all in, but I'll see you for the next several minutes.
Yeah, go
There you go.
Oh, my
Worry about
God.
that chair.
Did that chair come back in?
Yes.
She raised it 3 times.
That one came back in.
That's
Yeah, I'll work with Mr. Pinder on that.
We'll get rid of it.
I took it out, somebody brought it back in.
I feel like sorry. Good evening, President Smith, Dr. Salins, board members, members of the executive team. For the record, my name is Jolene Smith. I'm the supervisor of special education. I bring before you
you this evening for your consideration and approval a contract for iReady personalized learning tracks. This is a supplement to our existing curriculum tool. It would be delivered for students in grades 3 through 5, specifically addressing math. The way that the program works, they are receiving their instruction from their teachers. This uses those diagnostic tools to deliver individualized instruction based on their areas of need to kind of really close that gap. This would be funded through restricted funds in the amount of $48,689.17.
Does the board have any questions?
So this is only pertaining to students 3 through 5, and I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance. How many students are we talking about here? I could quickly look that up.
Is that 393?
Well, it's because it's
That's total building
360.
enrollment.
Does it say it?
I guess that's a Bayside.
Well,
This would be
because some
for
of them
all
are not the 3rd through 5th, so we're only
It's
doing
across the county, right?
Also, is that in there? I didn't put that.
No, so for each school, there's a line that says total building enrollment.
Oh, yes.
Right, but
And then
that's-
the grade range.
yeah.
So I guess we'd have to,
I can get you the numbers. I don't
Calculate
have them
those.
off the top of my head, and
Well, is that is that the per student license for 1 year and the quantity? Or is that the number I'm looking for? You know, on the, as Ms. Bent was saying, up here is the building enrollment, but then down here is the quantity. Is that the number we're talking about?
yes.
Okay.
It says 360, but there's way more than 360 in 3 through
Right,
5.
We're
Because
talking
this
3rd
is-
through 5th.
This is just the 3rd through 5th grade. So for which school are you referencing?
because the number is
Bayside?
different in each school.
Oh, I see. I'm seeing the extra. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm seeing the extra billing. There it is. Okay, got it. I was just looking only at the one. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to accept the iReady personalized learning tracks contract for the fiscal dollar amount of $48,689.17 budgeted from the FY21 State Systemic Improvement Plan, SSIP, grant restricted operating budget?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it passes.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, approval of policy 505, bullying.
Good evening, President Smith, Dr. Salins, members of the board, executive team. For the record, my name is Matt Evans, Supervisor of Student Services. Before you tonight is policy 505, the updated bullying, harassment, and intimidation policy. As to my knowledge, to this date, there have been no public comments.
It's gone out twice, and we've had no public comments on this.
Correct.
The board members have any comments? No. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you.
I have another policy before you tonight, policy 543, pregnant and parenting students. There was one public comment regarding this policy. I did respond to that. It was a parent, a stakeholder in the community, was concerned about the last paragraph in the policy mentions that no part of this policy shall mandate us to construct a new or an addition to create the private lactation area. So I responded to this stakeholder basically saying that, and his concern was that there wouldn't be a lactation space, and I clarified that there absolutely had to be a designated space, but we're not required to build that space. Use existing structures.
So we're staying within the parameters designed by the state?
Pardon me?
We're staying within the parameters of the state
Correct, yes.
mandate? Okay.
And I think that was the same email that it was sent to the board members too.
Correct.
And it's attached here as well.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was just really a misunderstanding, basically it's saying that we are not forced to build something. As long as we find a place wherever it is that's appropriate and meets the standard, we don't have to physically build a new structure. I think he was just.
Correct, and that was my response, and I didn't hear back and offered him to call me as well, so I haven't heard back.
And any question is a good question. It's good people look at this. When we have these things coming up, a lot of times we don't get public comment, and that's what we do need. If people have a question, there's usually a sound reason for it or an explanation of what is either it's coming down from the state a lot of times on things like this.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to approve policy 534, pregnant and parenting students?
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Go Tigers.
Mr. Edmund contract.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Kemp up there you are. I'm sorry.
Good evening, President Smith, Dr. Salins, board members, and executive team. I'm here to present to you this evening a contract with the Edmentum Corporation. Edmentum is the organization that we use to do our online credit courses for secondary students. What you see is a breakdown of the different libraries of courses that we will have licenses for, from core subjects to elective courses, PE, health. Everyone has a different price. This year, Edmentum has also taken control of the Apex Corporation. They've merged, so we used to use Apex for a lot of courses, so this year we've included 25 of their licenses in our contract so that if there are courses that aren't approved through Edmentum, we can use ones that are approved through Apex. This is what we use for our summer school credit recovery programs, during the school credit recovery programs, and it gives us an online original credit option for a lot of state-approved courses if we can't offer them in our buildings. So you'll see them broken down, and the total is $44,860.
What would be some of the examples of classroom resources that they provide for teachers?
Classroom resources?
It says the purpose is to provide additional classroom resources.
Their program allows us, because we have the licenses, teachers can access any of their courses and pull out specific assignments from a course and use it as a teaching part of their lesson. So instead of using it as a credit-based course, they could just take a lesson on the Pythagorean theorem, and they think it's a good video slideshow and a good test afterwards. A teacher could actually move that into their Schoology and use it as part of their instruction instead of using the whole course. And that's for grades 6 through 12. They actually have middle school opportunities that teachers can incorporate stuff for 6 through 12.
When I look at the contract, there's different quantity numbers. I guess that's how many people you figure are going to be in it.
It's based on our usage this year. I sat down with the representative and we made sure that we had enough of each particular area to meet our needs, but this company is very good with us, and if we need additional ones, they will give them to us. We don't have to go back and say, I need another 5, and they'll get us a bill. They'll take care of it. So this covers what we use.
As long as within a reasonable amount of money, they just let
Yes.
it. And I'm assuming it goes both ways, but, we have 500, if we need 510, so what if we use 490? That's what we
pay the price, right, for 500, correct.
And what are the consulting services?
They provide online training for teachers that have never used the program. So as we hire teachers or we have new people in particular areas, or they're working summer school, or if they're using it during the school year after school, it'll be a virtual to show them how to access the program. In the past, we've used it across the county. Now it's just more specific for the high school to teach them how to manage the program, how to pull assignments out if they need to.
So what does the 4 mean exactly?
There's four opportunities. We can choose 4 different times to set up training. So if we want to do 2 at the beginning of the year, we can, and we can do 2 at the end of the year to get ready for summer school if we need to.
Okay, thanks.
And once again, that's also a flexible thing. If we needed an additional one, we've been working with them for several years, and they will meet us if we need to do an additional one.
Okay. Any other board questions?
No, sir. Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to accept the Edmentum contract, fiscal impact dollar amount of $44,860, budget source, the ARP summer school grant?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Fantastic.
Okay, our next will be 906, Mrs. Towers, copiers.
So good evening once again. Tonight we bring before you a request for our copier program is to approve a 5-year fair market lease for 56 copiers. And I brought Miss J.C. Earls here with us tonight. She works in our procurement office. She actually is our Outstanding Support Employee of the Year. In addition to that, she just earned her Certified Professional Public Buyer Certification.
Yeah, all right.
This copier project is near and dear to our heart. We have over close to 10 different copy vendors currently now. So this RFP was actually, this invitation to bid was solicited for one vendor for this 5-year fair market lease. So in essence, it's consolidating just the amount of bills, the amount of meter reads. I can go on and on, I'm sure, on this as
Okay,
well.
so this isn't just near and dear to you all's heart, this is every administrator in every building in the school system. It's been going on for years, so thank you.
Yes.
So much.
So when we look at this invitation to bid, it was work on several different departments. We had the facility department under operations with Mr. Pender. We had IT under Josh Combs, and then the finance department as well, because there's a lot of coordination behind the scenes when at the copiers this amount and this size. So tonight we bring before you I apologize, Nautica for a 5-year fair market lease in the amount of $428,473.51 for a period July 1, 22 through June 30th, 27.
So is this a monthly, I'm sorry, is this a monthly payment or is it yearly?
That's a 5-year contract.
So, but I mean, we be making monthly payments on this or we be doing it yearly?
It's usually billed monthly, but we can negotiate that with the vendor too as far as what the payment would be. It's actually in the budget for FY23 as a placeholder.
But you'll be paying it monthly or just a year?
Usually you can, when you do your leasing documents, you can select between monthly, quarterly, and I've even seen annually. I don't know how their paperwork is going to look and their leasing document's going to look, but usually it's up to us how often we want the bill to come.
I only ask this because if you do a yearly payment, maybe there's some management or administrative fees in there. If it's done monthly, we would not have to pay that if we paid it yearly. That's the only
We'll
reason.
definitely look at the most cost-effective
Exactly.
ways.
That's the only reason why I asked.
Yes, yes.
So how many companies bid for this?
We had a total of 6.
We had 6 submissions.
Yes.
Do we know what the range is? Were the services, I assume, were the same across the board?
Right, so we did an invitation to bid. It basically, the purpose of the invitation to bid, as you know, is we already we identified what the need was and what we were looking for, and you can see that in Exhibit A. So we had a wide range of the $428,000 up to well over a couple thousand more than that of those prices that came in.
Up to 600.
600,000? Okay.
Have we dealt with this company before?
No, but we did.
Does it have references or somebody
Yes.
other counties or municipalities have used them?
Yes. A local school district gave them a good reference. They've used them for the past 5 years, outstanding customer service.
And this is firm fixed, correct? There's no change in the amount?
Firm fixed, and includes the stables.
Yeah, like no fluctuation in any.
Everything but the paper.
Everything but the paper, yes. Automatic meter reads, so it just is, we're heading in the right direction with technology.
I mean, I just know being in private business, copiers are something you don't like. Financially, they just cost money. I mean, they're just, it's just something that's a headache. And I see this works out to about $85,000, $86,000 a year.
Yes, correct.
Or $1,530 a copier, which to me seems pretty reasonable if they work.
It is. Now, there is an estimate for your click per print because you have to pay for the amount of clicks or the amount of print.
Is that
each
above
time.
this? Is that in this? So so those numbers are
Factored in.
Factored in. So that's what it's going to cost to run that system or that thing for a year, assuming we use the same number
Right.
close to it.
And what we've seen with these old copiers, they're off the lease. They are, in addition to being old, the click per rate is going up and up and up because it costs more to maintain. Vendors, they can't even find parts for these, and then we're waiting on parts, and then we're having to rent machines just to limp us through until they can get the parts. So it's becoming very costly.
It's probably out of our thing, and probably I don't know. Does each school have so many clicks, or you kind of average what a school's going to be? Or, I mean, I'm assuming once you go to one school, if there's 600 students and 50 staff or whatever number is, that's going to have so many. I mean, we're not going to count every click, but there's a rough thing. You got to overall smell test what's right.
We do have data that JC has used and analyzed over the past couple of years as far as to get that monthly average.
That was attached, right? But it was for black and white copies, is that correct?
Yes.
I think Dr. Salins had a colored copy thing in there somewhere. Is that the only, are they not all capable of?
No, they're black and white.
Okay.
And the interest rate doesn't increase over the course of the lease time? It's a firm fix. Okay, thank you. And then with the goal being every 5 years, they cycle out, and the old ones go out in 5 years, and the new ones come in. So that way we don't run into the same situation we're currently now.
So, but for 5 years, they've got to produce one that's running.
Correct.
And then in 5 years, they can make if we decide to renew this contract, then we would look at what we're going to do then.
Do we I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, I didn't mean to cut you off. Are you done?
No, go ahead.
So do we kind of have the cost comparison already? I mean, so this is going to come to approximately the $100,000 a year over the 5 years. Do we know what we've been paying for copying for?
Yes, and there is a line item in the budget for that, and it's rising steadily each year because of the click rate is going up because we have to pay so more for the copiers because of the old machines. But we will utilize, and we do have some savings in there for the click per print that we can attach to this contract. Yes.
Thanks.
And the company's name is Nauticon? Nauticon. Okay.
And you have something you were going to say?
No, I was going to ask, so at the end of the 5 years, are we just going to issue out another RFP for a new set of proposals, or we?
The goal would be to issue a new solicitation, correct?
Okay.
There's 56 copiers. If something goes bad to one of them, is there in there, they have to get it repaired within 24 or 48 hours or something, or get another one sitting in there?
I think it's a 4-hour window.
Yes.
A 4-hour window.
They have to contact the school
And respond.
and let them know when they're coming.
So it's a pretty service-oriented thing too. I mean, to me, that's the good name of the game, the service.
One of my colleagues currently uses this company, so I just took an opportunity to reach out just to say, what has your experience been? And they were very positive about it. So that was good because I had not personally heard of, I hadn't heard of a couple of the ones that were actually presenting, but that was one of the ones that I wasn't familiar with. So I asked my colleagues, has anybody used them? And they currently have a contract with them and have been very pleased with everything from service to machines.
Where are they based?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I was curious to see if they're kind of local.
Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Close.
Any further questions by the board?
Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to accept the 5-year FMV lease and related maintenance contract for Nauticon? Fiscal impact dollar amount of $428,473.51. The lease time of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th of 2027.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
To clarify, Mr. Smith, budget source, unrestricted current expense fund. Ms. Carey?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Towers, you're still here.
All right. I think this is it. Tonight we bring before you the transfer request. We request the Board of Education approval with this transfer request of budget amendment number 5. Since the approval of the FY22 unrestricted budget, there has been additional identified needs under that category of health services. We'd like to move some salary savings from instruction to the healthcare services to account for increased costs in the nursing category for supplies, travel, and non-instructional equipment, as well as some substitute costs. And then under the transportation, as we discussed earlier, we'd like to move from instructional and special ed savings, salary savings to transportation in the amount of $375,000. And this is to account for for overtime, field trips, fuel costs, and things of running the transportation.
Any questions by the board? And this is in category, so this does not go to the commissioners.
This will go to
Well,
the
the commissioners will send a
yes.
letter to them on out of category. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Any further questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to do the transfer as submitted by Mrs. Towers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Pender and Carl.
Good evening, President Smith, members of the board, Dr. Salins, and executive team. I'm here this evening to ask your approval for a contract with Continental Flooring Company. This is to replace part of the flooring system at Kent Island High School. Some of you will remember that 2 years ago, we did about a third of the replacement there with some funding that we had, so we're asking to go back to do the replacement of that. This flooring was installed in 1998. It usually has about a 20-year life cycle, so we're a little bit past that, and we are starting to see the wear. It was also identified by the Maryland State Public School Construction Inspection that it was starting to wear, and it was something that they anticipated we needed to fix. We are doing this through a cooperative purchasing contract, as I mentioned, with Continental Flooring. They are the same company that completed the first part of this repair, so we were very pleased with their service. This is coming out of fiscal year 22, the maintenance unrestricted line item, total cost of $373,380. I will tell you that because it was cooperative purchasing, we reached out to several different companies just to put a feeler out there since costs have increased so much. The closest quote to this was $503,000. So we feel that given that we were working with Continental before, we know that they're a reputable company, we are very pleased with this quote amount.
I'm assuming this will probably be done in the summertime?
Yes, so we'll start June 15th, and we will have our liquidated damages start on August 16th if it's not complete.
Okay. Well, no, I was going to say, it says it's revised price quote was.
Yes, so they had given us a quote first, and one of the areas that hadn't been done the first time wasn't included, so we asked them to go back and make sure that that was there.
Okay, thanks.
Mrs. Towers, why wouldn't this be under capital?
It is considered repair and maintenance, and if capital, you tend to think, does it add existing value? And this does not. This is just to maintain the existing floor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions by the board?
No, sir.
Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to approve the contract with Continental Flooring Company for the partial flooring replacement at Kent Island High School? Fiscal impact dollar amount of $373,380. Budget source FY22 maintenance unrestricted fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our last thing will be 909, and I think we're all aware of our budget that the board has voted on and approved, but we did get an okay to take some money requested, and Dr. Salins can go over this and the board can comment on where this is coming from and where it's going.
Dr. Salem?
I was going to defer to Jane.
Okay, Jane.
Good evening. Tonight, we're bringing before you a request to utilize $1,633,000 of healthcare reserve trust funds and partnering with the county to bring down the health costs projected for FY23 from over 10% to take it down to 4%. What we've seen is an increase in healthcare costs, visits, and this will offset the costs and take it down to 4% instead of the projected over 10%. So we're asking $1.6 million to use from ESMEC Healthcare Trust Reserve to keep the cost down.
So our cost, our staff and us would be going up 10%.
It would have gone up 10% if we do not utilize this $1.6 million.
Sorry.
Well, no, that was just what I was going to say, that I wanted to be clear and make sure that everybody was clear that if we don't use this 1.6 million, that yes, the employees would be paying more than 10% extra starting July of this year. Is that correct? July of this year?
That is correct. We're seeing neighboring counties that have that increase of 10% projected.
Right. But approving this 1.6 million, they'll only see a 4% as opposed to greater than 10%.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I guess we're hoping in time, next year won't be as bad. I know we're coming out of COVID, people are doing things differently and stuff, but I know we're working on some different things with our Everside, which should help. I think that's a partnership with the county.
That's correct.
That we're working on to reduce healthcare costs
Right.
to our system and to our employees.
Right. There are some exciting things in the future, and Dr. Salins could probably speak to that with Choptank Community Health and the partnering with Everside. So the office visits would be on site or at a convenient location instead of using the emergency room facilities.
How confident are we that he's going to let us use this? Because all this is a request.
Right. We've already worked that out with them to ensure that is available funding, and worked with the county commissioners to ensure that they agree with that. Because it has to be both the board and the commissioners have to agree to utilize those funds.
Has this letter gone over to Mr. Nagel yet?
No, this has been through the county, and I bring it before you tonight, and then it'll be to Mr. Nagel tomorrow.
Did you make it dear sir?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think they do that just because they know him.
I know they know him, but
he's
I'm respectfully requesting this, sir, please.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just semantics, but it's,
yes.
Thank you.
I agree.
I want to iterate that we put this in our budget to make sure that our budget was balanced and that we were doing the best. And I think it's got to be noted, as Helen said, this is to reduce costs both for the system and employee contributions. And so it's something we've had in there. The board's approved it, but I definitely hope this, it's definitely necessary to go through.
Does this require a vote on this tonight from us?
Yes.
Okay.
It needs to go to Mr. Nagel tomorrow. And we did receive it just now, so it's not as if we held it, but it really does need board action, and can't wait for another 2 weeks.
We'd like to set the healthcare rates and get them publicized in June to the employees.
Okay.
And as noted, we put it in our budget, and at the end of this month, the county will be striking the county budget, which funds the majority of a large portion of our budget. So I really think it's urgent that we get this going.
And I'd like to thank the board. I mean, this is, quite.
Well, let us vote on it first.
Well, that's true, but for your consideration, and it was in our budget, and it does say a lot. I mean, we have two neighboring districts where there's our 10%, and their employees, they're not putting any reserve towards it, and I don't know whether they have reserves or don't, so I can't judge that for that piece of it. But I just know that theirs is set at 10%, and they're not, as part of their negotiations or whatever, offering that. To reduce that cost. And we know every single year healthcare has gone up, every single year, and it's anywhere typically between 5 and 10% over the last probably 5 or 6 years in a row. And the effort to reduce those, to keep money in our staff members' pockets is admirable. And I thank you for that, for your consideration.
So can we vote now?
Well, do we have to put forth a motion?
Yes. Mr. Smith, may I make a motion to send a letter over to
Mr. Milton Nagel to request that the Board of Education and Queen Anne's County government utilize $1,633,000 of the ESMEC Healthcare Fund for our 2022-2023 budget.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Towers.
Okay, next is citizen public comment. Anybody have any public comment for the board?
I'd like to thank all of the people who came tonight to our meeting to express their views about their employment here. I think that we all agree that we appreciate everyone taking their time, and we appreciate everyone who's working in this system, so thank you.
Okay, our future meetings, we will have our next work session on May the 18th, and our next board meeting will be June the 1st. Do I have anything else good for the calls?
Sure.
Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good evening. Thank you.